You're listening to the Custom Built Podcast. In today's episode, we're going to flip the switch from red flags to green flags and what those green flags are when you're talking to a contractor that you're ready to hire. So stay tuned. We love to talk about red flags and all the reasons why someone doesn't fit and isn't the right choice for you and your build. But what about the green flags of the contractors that are actually a really great fit? What do those characteristics look like? And why should we be looking out for them instead of just paying attention to the red flags? Now, obviously, we don't want to ignore any of those feelings that we get when something doesn't sit right or, hey, a big red flag is glaring. But I want to say, let's come in to a conversation with a contractor looking for those green flags. And then if a red flag pops up, you know what to do, right? So we're going to jump right into the 5 green flags that you can look for in your contractor when you are ready to hire. So green flag number 1, your contractor is telling you their why before they tell you their how. Your contractor is going to share their philosophy about why they're doing what they're doing, why it's important to them, and then they're going to explain and set expectations on why they do what they do. They're not going to just talk to you about their timeline and their pricing. They're going to tell you this is why we do it this way, and that is how we get to here. And they're going to share their values. They're going to share their craftsmanship. They're going to show you their communication. Within that first few minutes, you're going to have a good feel of how they communicate with you, especially if you ask questions and they're willing to sit and listen and answer with a meaningful response. And by meaningful, I mean they respond in a way that says, this is what I heard you say. Let me know if this is right. They might not use those right words, right? But in some way, you're going to know that you were heard. And they're not going to rush into the selling part. They're going to tell you their story, and then they're going to tell you how they might be a really great fit for you. They're going to tell you their why. So green flag number 1, you're going to hear their why first, and then their process. And one other thing that you can do as a homeowner while you're listening to your contractor talk and share their story is that you don't have to just listen for the facts. You get to listen for that passion. So be really in tune with that. Also, on the flip side, don't just hear their passion and think they know and know everything that they're doing. You want to hear both sides. You want to hear their experience and their expertise, and you also want to hear their why. So this is kind of like a twofer there. You want to make sure there's both and it's balanced. You don't want it to be one or the other. You don't want them to be just experts and don't love their craft anymore. And you don't want them to just be the dreamers who love what they're doing and they don't have any kind of systems in place. You see, it's a balance. Green flag number 2, you will feel heard and understood. Your contractor won't just repeat back to you and let you know that they're listening to you, but they're going to ask you thoughtful questions. They're going to want to know your wants, your needs, and your long-time goals in your home. They're not looking for just that short-term, what is it that we're doing right here? They have a bigger picture in mind. They're not just focused in on this project. They want to know more. Your contractor might say, what I'm hearing is that your kitchen is a gathering space. Let's see what we can do here to make this more functional for you and get this flow working well for you. So that way, when you have your big gatherings, nobody is left squished between cabinets and refrigerator doors. Okay, so we're going to make sure that we focus mainly here and work outwards. That's kind of like value engineering there. You're going to start in the one spot that's really important. In this scenario, right, that is somebody that's going to be listening and hearing what you're saying. And that's the difference between saying like, okay, you want a bigger kitchen because you like to be in here, but there's no thought and consideration about how you actually move in that kitchen in scenario number 2. In scenario number 1, we're talking about that. We're trying to figure out, we're getting a little deeper. Are there more cooks in the kitchen? Are we just kind of sitting and gathering? I mean, those are really important questions to really understand what that layout's going to look like and how are we going to build it and make sure that there's enough space where space is allowed. If you walk out of that consultation feeling more confused and or minimized, that's not your contractor. But if you leave a consultation and you feel heard and you feel supported, that's alignment. That's a green flag. Green flag number 3, they set expectations early. Expectations when it comes to a home renovation is tough, especially when, as a builder talking to a homeowner, they come in and they tell you what they want and they give you all the inspiration and they say, let's go. But as a home builder, we got to make sure that we're setting those expectations properly right up front. So your green flag contractor, they're going to answer your questions. They're not going to leave you guessing. You're going to know what the next steps are, and you're not going to have to chase them down to find out. They clarify timelines, what budgets are going to look like, how the process is going to look. They let you know up front, so then that way when they're doing the behind the scenes planning, there's no questions if they're actually doing what they say they're going to be doing, because you're going to start seeing some of that progress come up. And then once it's time for the build to start, you're going to see all that quiet work come together and flourish through that. And they give you a sense of structure. You're not going to be in limbo. So ultimately, they're going to be a structured, well-oiled machine that's going to tell you exactly how this is going to run. And if they're unable to give you any kind of specific timelines, if they're wishy-washy about getting back to you, if they ghost you, I mean, obviously red flags right there. If they're hard to communicate to begin with, don't think communication's going to get better once the building starts. It's not. If they don't talk to you up front and set those expectations early, you're going to be questioning and guessing the whole way through. And that causes stress and chaos. Nobody needs stress and chaos during a home renovation. Green flag number 5, they're not throwing around numbers carelessly. When you have your initial walkthrough and your contractor that you're interviewing is taking a look at the work and they're discussing the scope of work with you, and you ask them, what's this going to cost? If they just give you a number and say that's that, I mean, that's a red flag to me. A green flag, however, is someone that's going to be, listen, we have a lot of work in front of us. I hear and I see what we're looking at and I understand the scope, but I can give you a ballpark number. I can give you a ballpark number based off of jobs that I've done that were like this and similar items that we've used, and give you an idea of what this was going to cost. Okay? That in a first consultation conversation is appropriate. If they're tossing out a number and telling you this is going to cost you this and it's going to be done in this time frame, I would have pause there. And a contractor that's going to give you those numbers up front like that are probably going to set you up for disappointment. But a contractor that's giving you a ballpark range, they're not just giving you a hard time. They're not trying to be vague or not truthful. They don't want to be giving you a number because there's so many things that have to happen before they can give you a more validated number. And what that looks like is they need to talk to their trades. They need to understand if you need more design. If you're doing tile work, there might be elevations. You might need to know what kind of selections you're going to have. If there's going to be specific, like if you're going to lay those tiles in a specific way, that's a higher labor cost. So having a better understanding of the scope of work and being able to get trades involved as well, you can start getting better numbers, and that's more specific for the scope of work that is your job. But don't expect your contractor to have a hard number on day one the first time you guys are meeting. You need to have a little bit more patience with them. I know you're having inspiration and able to verbalize what it is that you want, but the contractor needs to make sure that they're on the same page. And by doing that with their other green flags, they're talking to you, so they're getting there. But a green flag is a ballpark range, and they're going to be upfront with you. This is what something like this cost me before. I think we can do that same here, but there's a lot of work that we need to figure out first. And this is what's coming next. So they're giving you their ear, you're listening. They're listening to you. They're going to show you that. They are telling you their why. They're telling you their processes. They are now sharing with you a ballpark number and not telling you a hard, this is what it's going to cost you no matter what number. Okay. That's a green flag. You want the ballpark. You don't want the hard first number on the first day. Green flag number 5, they're upfront about what they can and can't do. A great contractor is not going to tell you that they are the expert at everything. They're going to tell you what they are good at. In the areas that they're not great at, they're probably going to tell you no, that they're not the best at it. That's a green flag. And then the bonus green flag is when they say, I'm not the expert, but I actually know this person that we work very closely with, and they are. And I would love to bring them onto this project. How do you feel about that? Okay, green flag. You're not only producing that I can and can't do something, and here's a problem, but here's also a solution. And also it shows that we're able to work really nicely with other people. And it's a supportive system. And when somebody can be upfront with you, then they're more likely to be upfront with you when something big happens. If something does pop up, you want those people on your team that are not afraid and shy away from saying no or something happened. You want those people to be able to be upfront and honest with you and not bullshit you, to be frank. I mean, I love it when someone tells me that they are either at capacity, this isn't their strong suit, and then they follow it up with, this is what I can do about it. Or I know this other person, they're the best. Let me connect you. All right. Those are always going to be green flags for me. And I'm never, anybody that tells me that they're the expert on everything is like a major red flag. And even if they're like really good in their field and they tell me they have nothing left to learn, like that's a red flag for me. Like we always have things that we can learn, even when we are experts in what we do. So green flag, it's like we are learners for life, and I can and cannot do certain things, but here are the people that I know would be great for this project. So can I connect us all together on this project? So let's go back over the 5 green flags when it comes to hiring a contractor. Number 1, they tell you their why first, not their how. Green flag number 2, you are left feeling heard and understood. Green flag number 3, they set your expectations early. You know what's coming. You're not left guessing. Green flag number 4, they don't throw numbers at you carelessly. You are not getting a hard number on day 1. And if you are, run the other way. A green flag contractor will be giving you a ballpark range and giving you an idea of what a project that they've done in the past cost if it's similar to the one that you guys are talking about right then. And green flag number 5 is that they are upfront about what they can and cannot do. So a green flag contractor is going to tell you, I can or cannot do X, Y, and Z. And if I can't do it, I'm going to connect you with somebody who is really great at this. And if I can't connect you with them, I'm going to find somebody who can. So those are the top 5 green flags when hiring a contractor, because you deserve somebody that's going to build your house with care, with love and passion, just like you have for your own home. You want somebody that's going to be an advocate for your space and that's going to provide you with the longevity of the home that you're looking to build. This isn't just a house. This isn't just a project. This is your home and this is your sanctuary. So find the builders who understand that and that they respect that. And when they don't have the passion anymore, then maybe that's not the right person for you. And don't ignore the red flags when you're looking at the green flags. If something is glaringly obvious at you and something doesn't feel right, pause and figure out what that is. But if they're checking all the boxes on these green flags, but something feels off, I mean, really sit with that and think about it. And also make sure there's a balance, right? When we're talking about someone that's passionate about what they're doing versus an expert in their field, you want that balance. You don't want them just to be an expert and know everything that they need to do to build, and they don't have the passion because it's just another build for them. And you don't want someone that's just so passionate and loves to build that they don't have the expertise, because then we can run into some problems. Let's find that balance, beautiful harmony between the two that are knowledgeable and passionate about what they're doing still. Those are your green flags for hiring a contractor. Let me know in the comments if that was helpful. Please share it with anybody that's going through the home renovations, and make sure you click subscribe. And if you're also interested in more about your pre-planning for your home renovations, make sure you go to the website, which will be linked in the show notes, to join the Blueprint Collective, which will be launching soon. Have a wonderful, beautiful day, and I'll talk to you soon. Thank you for hanging out today. If you liked what you heard, please make sure you hit subscribe, and I hope to see you again next week. Have a good one. Bye-bye.